Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 37 of Making Meaning with Joel Corda. Got a very special guest tonight. Guy I've known for 40 years.
Yeah, I would say, yeah.
I remember when I was a kid, I'd make fun of things being 20 years ago. Let's start with one of my favorites. I wrote this one for my wife. I think it's her favorite. It's called Be Here Now. Let me make sure that my mic is on. And is this one working too? Let me turn that on. There we go. Stepping stone values, tenderness lost. It's been a spell since I've slowed it all down. Looked on your face, just to look on your face. The care, the time, the intent, the thought. Baby, I can be here now. 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 It's kicking up a gale from the outside world. From within, never been without. I can count on one hand the times when we've lost the thread. The countless are the times I've assumed. Hey baby, I can be here now. 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 You've given much more than you've taken. I can't nearly say the same. It's not that these pillars are shaking. It's the eye, it's occasionally sane. So put down those dishes. I'll turn off the TV. We'll let the boy play in traffic for a while. Let's turn on some music. Let's move for a while. 'Cause these moments won't always be here now. I can 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 be here now. Scaring the guests with the sound effects. Quick word from a sponsor.
Strength, story, steel.
That's O'Boyle Steelworks.
Every knife we forge is one of a kind, built to last. Built for you. From custom blades to hand-etched detail.
Each piece carries history in its steel.
Whether for daily use or as a showpiece for generations, we craft it by hand right here in Montana. Find O'Boyle Steelworks on Instagram, Facebook, Etsy, and Patreon.
Strength, story, steel.
Bob O'Boyle out there making the knives, making the ladies crazy. I'm going to play another one that is directly related to my guest tonight.
Oh, right.
I think I've told the story before, but at his wedding, which we'll get into a little bit, might have been one of the most drinking nights I've ever had. And it took me about 3 days to put myself back together afterwards. And not that the song has anything to do, well, it has to do, it was something that I said to my wife, because she asked me, are you, I was giving her like percentages of being put together again. And the term wreck myself again came out of that, and I realized there's a song there. So here it is. It's not the moon that gets me, it's that it won't shine through. It's not the daylight that kills me, it's this distance between me and you. Well, half of me wants to tell you not to give up on me, and half of me wants to sell you things that can never be. But don't give me another chance, don't give me another chance, 'cause if you do, I'll just wreck myself again. If you do, just wreck myself again. Well, it's the struggle between the two that has me thinking of you. It's the struggle between the two that has me drinking to you, to you, to you. No, it's not the phone that gets me, it's that it won't ring through. Not the hum that kills me, it's this light not connecting to you. I wanna feel like something, it's not entirely tired. I wanna feel like someone, not entirely sad. But don't give me another chance, don't give me another chance. If you do, I'll just wreck myself again. If you do, just wreck myself again. If you do, I'll just wreck myself again. If you do, just wreck myself all over again. Applause, yay! We did it. All right, let's show another ad from Red Eye Advertising. Let me get my ears back in so I can make sure I've done this properly.
Is this the right distance? I won't touch anything.
I think you're pretty good. I haven't
Pretty.
set you up yet. You think I'd put the glasses on first or the ears? It's always it's a new mystery.
That's always, I know
mystery
how you
every
feel with that
time.
one. Yeah.
Doctor. All right. So I had a shingles shot yesterday.
Oh.
And it put me out. I did not realize how much I was going to be a big baby. First, it knocked me out for about 3 hours. I thought, oh, that's over. Like the honey badger, I awoke.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I started getting the chills all night. Like I went to bed shaking. It was exciting. It's very, very exciting.
I don't think that's the shaking you want to go to bed with.
No. All right, let's talk about my guest. Are you ready, ladies and gentlemen? Are you ready, guest?
I'm ready.
All right. Tonight's guest. Ooh, let me see if I did this right. Tonight's guest is one of those peoples. Let me start that again. Tonight's guest is one of those people where the public resume is impressive, but the private history is even richer. Ed McNamee and I graduated together from Great Falls High in the class of 1992. We've known each other through the big chapters: school, friendship, weddings, family, work. For nearly 30 years, Ed has taught history and built one of the great swimming programs in Montana, leading teams to state championships and a lasting culture. Now, as he retires from swimming, he is helping launch a brand new chapter as the first head baseball coach at Great Falls High. Tonight is about coaching, teaching, history, friendship, and legacy. Please welcome my friend, classmate, and Hall of Fame coach, Ed McNamee. There he is, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on, I gotta get you the applause.
Oh, thank you.
Yay!
Quite an introduction.
You know, I was thinking about it today. You and I don't see each other that much.
No, we don't. I think that's somewhere along the line, life happens.
What's interesting is there are people that I think like, oh, we're not friends anymore. And I don't think that's ever crossed my mind with you.
I don't think that, no.
I think we just understand that you made some babies, I made a baby, and that we have like these schedules that do not. Plus, when I went to a school, you went to the other school.
Yes, we did.
I think we had one year.
I think you were yes, we did.
We had one glorious year where we talked about pro wrestling and.
Which is always, I think that's probably one of the things too, is that when you have friendships like ours, and they're rare, I think there's a couple people we could point to that we have in common, or is the idea that the conversation picks up where it left off, whether it was last night, last year, or a decade ago. It's the same conversation. It's just the comfort level that's there is like, and I think you said it too. I think that's one of the things is like, both you and I live in the public so much that it's one of those things like, you know a lot of people. I know a lot of people, but how many are you friends with? A couple. I mean, it really is. And it's not, I don't say that in a negative way, but it's just like you, and then if you go that step further in terms of now, how many people do you have that ability to pick the conversation up with years later? And now you're down to single digits, I think.
Right.
And I think that's where you and I stand and always have. Because it is like, it's just, it's kind of fascinating on a lot of levels though too, because it kind of interdisperses and stuff. And we definitely have different interests. But at the same time as we have very similar interests too. So that it's like, it is incredibly just, I'm full of nostalgia as you were singing earlier, because there was a lot of alcohol in our younger days that survived, and with sitting in basements and listening to you play guitar and sing, and
making your dad drive us around in the family van.
Yes, and going to get breakfast at 2:30 in the morning and things of that nature. Yeah, and that was, like you said, that 3-day spell of our Eric and I's wedding back 25 years ago, that was, I think that I had to dry out to actually go to the church that day, because the previous 2 days I was a wreck, but it was great. I wouldn't trade anything.
No, I mean, and we still have the same wives.
We do. I think that's a rarity too.
Yeah. Do you think it's a profession thing?
Some I do. I think some of it is. I think some of it is just the idea that I think when you have kind of like the maintenance levels that draw to each other, it's like um, Erica is very like she knows. I would say she knows exactly when to say the right thing and do the right thing. She's not a coach's wife. She is, but she isn't. She doesn't take any publicity or take anything like that. She doesn't do that. She kind of lets me have that, but she's also the one when I go home that grounds me. Whether it's good or bad, she grounds me and she knows exactly what to say and when. And so that is truly behind the scenes. And in her job that she has and all their other things too, it's kind of play the same roles.
Yeah.
And so it's, it allows me to live in the public that I do. But she's a very private person. But she also has her job, and she's a very close-knit family that she's here with, here in Great Falls. And that's kind of the trade-off is I don't say you can or can't go with your family, your extended family or anything like that.
Right.
So we each kind of have our own lanes that we fit in. And
We let people be who they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I really do.
I got a question for you because I used to think I was an extrovert. And I think more than anything, I actually just developed skills that would make people think I was. Do you have to go home and sit in the?
Oh my gosh!
And just,
I think that was. Yeah, we do. I think it's one of those things like you have to, you play so many different roles, and you understand what I'm talking about in terms of mine are different from being Mr. McNamee and I, show up and we're teaching AP government, and you have to be this intellectual. I take what I do serious. I don't take who I am serious. But then at the end, like it does take a lot of energy when you do get home, like just like you going to have to play the gigs, but all the stuff you do down at the sip and dip and stuff is like when you get home, we don't talk that much. No, I am quiet at home, is kind of like, and I think that's the other thing too, in terms of like, why don't you see that many people? I'm exhausted when I get home and I don't necessarily want to be around people that much.
The very chosen few.
Yes.
And that's family mostly.
Right.
Yeah.
And again, that's when you walk through the door and it's like everything changes and you're back to square one.
Yeah.
And so I agree with you a lot. I think I think it's very learned, rehearsed. I think that's the trick is like, you teach too, is to make it look and appear to be off the cuff when in fact it's so well rehearsed and stuff that it's second nature. But to your clients that are sitting on the other side of the desk, I want them to have the feeling like this is
the first time.
This is the first time.
Yeah.
This is the first time. So it's spontaneous to a point.
It is performance.
100%.
And we were in a play together way back. And I was it was 2 weeks ago. The kid was reading The Outsiders. And I was telling them, I convinced a lot of the football team to show up
and try out for the play
and then fight for about 10 minutes.
And it was like, talk about imposter syndrome. Just the whole thing of like, you and Kuntz talked me into coming out and reading for the play. And I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, there's no way. Well, then all of a sudden I did it and I was like, hey, this is kind of fun. And I'm thinking, and you guys are chatting me up like, oh yeah, dude, you're going to get this role. You're going to get Pony Boy. You're perfect for Pony Boy. And I'm like, all right. And then half of me is like, oh, that's a lot of stuff to memorize. Yeah. And then I get and just typecasting
of course,
high school kid. Yes. Yeah. I get put in as the Soch, like the jock Soch. And I'm like, seriously? I mean, that is just like, like Coach Poley said, none of you are athletes. The only athlete around here is Elliot. I think the rest of us thought we were.
You're all poets and dipshits. I don't know. Put your heads together, make a rock pile.
I think the rest of us thought we were because we were around Elliot, but that was about it.
We could get in the way of other people, kind of, for a short period of time.
Yeah, but certainly not. But then it's like, and then I saw it a couple of years ago. Like they used to have that Thursday edition for the Tribune, the Community Press or something, and they had the picture of the cast in there. and I'm in the middle of the thing. I'm in the middle, front and center,
We
in the
put you
middle.
in the middle, yeah.
And I was like, I don't. And then we had like the opening night, and our whole fight scene was behind a screen. It wasn't even. I never even got.
No, they saw it because it
They
was
saw
all
the shadows,
which was awesome.
They didn't see me. And then people were asking me, like, thought you were in the plane. Like, I was.
That was it.
Shadow number 2, Soch 1 or something. And I think I said my lines different every single night because I just like, and I think that's what the talent of acting and stuff is like, oh my gosh. And I remember we tried to make a movie with you, and I'm terrible. I'm a horrible actor.
That was pretty fun though.
Yeah.
You guys shut up. You did the
I'm
thing.
an absolutely horrible actor. I cannot.
Except you're doing it every day in AP English.
Yeah, but it's so much. It's different though because it's spontaneous.
Okay.
Well, yes and no, but it's not. I certainly don't have to memorize lines. Oh my gosh, that's it.
Yeah.
That makes me look stupid.
It makes everybody look a little stupid at first.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting that we had the football drama, and we had a guy playing drums back there. Do you remember? We fought to drums.
Yes, we did.
So high artistry actually for a play.
Oh yes. And one of the other people who was a drama person, because I had really crossed over some social lines there to go into the drama thing, and like there was, I don't know if I was met with very open arms on some things, and I didn't want to do anything mean or anything. I was just trying to hang out with you guys and see what it was all about. And I had fallen asleep backstage, waiting on like the last night. I'd fallen asleep just because I was like, and one of the drama kids like yelled at me, and I said, "Shut up." I'm like, I'm fine. I'm like, not even gonna be on there. And there was a part of me though that was like, oh, thank God I didn't get that big part. I'd have screwed it all up.
You didn't. It was good.
No, and I think that was one of the things too. Is like you and Mark are actually up in the speech and drama state championship of 1992 is up in the Great Falls High School right now.
Strange. That would be a competition,
It's the only competition in high school now that gets me is the health occupation kids. They go do the hostess stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and they come back and they're like, I got 3rd place in CPR. I'm like,
how many? You brought some people back?
Did they? Seems like it's a kind of binary thing. They lived or they died. I got 3rd place. So are they alive? Well, it's a dummy. I'm like, okay, so I'm not sure how you get 3rd place in CPR, but I've met people who have.
Right. It's yeah. Some things maybe shouldn't have medals.
I know.
Participation is just fine in some things.
If they lived, you win.
If you participate in doing the CPR and know how,
you win.
You've done it.
And if they live,
you extra win.
Yeah.
They owe you a kidney.
Yeah. Put them in the left-hand column. That's a W.
You get it?
Yeah.
I was just thinking of, I'm trying to think of which things we can actually talk about. That you and I were once in the middle of what would have been the biggest in-school brawl in history if we hadn't stopped it in a choir convention. Do you remember?
Oh my gosh, yes. Oh gosh. Oh gosh, yeah, that was one of those things too. Again, like total miscast. Like coming to get me and you to be like this kid who's like a fullback linebacker from Big Sky. I can still remember it, like in the first floor hallway. I just remembered that, and I was like, they want us to fight him. Like, I'm like, who?
Do you remember?
And I'm like, yeah, no, I don't want to. No, do
you remember how we de-escalated it?
He was going to kick my ass. I knew that.
Well, it was going to be everybody.
Oh yeah, it was. I mean,
which is crazy at a choir.
A choir brawl.
Enough football players to make it troublesome. But I think the words were, guys, this is choir.
Yeah. You were the voice of reason.
I think it was you.
I just remember just being like, oh, thank God. Because he was like a state champion wrestler and stuff too. And it's like, all of a sudden it's like, I just, I'll be the hero.
Why were they, and why did you get chosen? I remember is being pushed forward.
I think it was something like that. Like all of a sudden, like, are we going to rely on Rhett and Ryan Jagger
and why were we
take care of it?
Yeah. Who were the?
I mean, if it was Holly Zader and Katie Newmack, then I'd think that's probably who our best bet was having there.
Probably.
But I was just like, okay,
we're not the toughest guys.
No, gosh, no.
No.
That was one of those things too. Gosh, I remember that. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I don't want to.
What do you remember most about our class of 1992?
What do I own in terms of that? I think what I remember most is, I think it was one of those things that there weren't, I mean, we had different groups of friends that we had,
Mhm.
different interests, different things like that. But I don't really think it was hostile. I don't really think the lines were there, but we didn't really, they weren't walls, they were lines. But it was like everyone had things like, I think we went ghost hunting once. I think we went, but I think it was really weird. I think afterwards, like when we got out of high school and stuff like that, I'd meet people who were younger than us and just tell us how cool we were. And I was like, you have no idea how big of nerds we thought. I'm like, dude, we played ping pong and watched SNL at Harley's house.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we did. I
Yeah.
mean,
We had a lot of smart people in our class.
yeah. And a lot of I think that was the other thing too, is like, we pulled it off. I've had classes like that. When I was at CMR, there was a class that came through like that where everyone was like, these guys are so perfect. They're so great. And I'm like, are they though? Are they though? And then come to find out, yeah, as soon as they hit the exits, it was game on. I'm like, but that was the thing. We never brought any delinquency with us.
Right.
And so it was like this line that was there that you didn't want to cross. I mean, you just didn't. Because you didn't want to get in trouble, one. And there was a feeling there that you didn't want to let anybody down.
I agree with that.
But
I don't know how we came up with that.
I don't either. I think it was just all the different walks and stuff that were there. And just the intermixing. I think everyone was friendly. I think that was the idea of like, were there cool kids? Yeah, of course there were.
Right.
Right. Were we one of them? A version of them, I think.
We were next to coolness sometimes.
Yeah, but it was just like, but we were like, no one ever took themselves very serious,
Right.
Or we did,
We would take things and interests seriously.
Right. But I still played in Bloomgren's backyard football every Sunday.
Yeah.
In the fall, every Sunday, with first team. It was just like, that's just what we did. There was nothing there. Or in the springtime, they'd go to baseball and then go play dunk hoops up at Mountain View.
Yeah.
Or play, hide and seek and Running Man and stuff like that. That was just like normal. I think that was the thing too, is like I'm glad there was no cameras, because
100%.
I told Nielsen once, I said it'd either go one of two ways. We'd either be millionaires or we'd be in jail. Either we would hit and it would be perfect, or we would be absolute no career at all.
I think about being in the band with Reggie at that age and what would have happened if he would have had YouTube available to him.
Right. Or just any of us for doing Brian and I would sit at our house when we were in Missoula, and I think we'd spent like an hour or two. We bought a soundtrack CD of, not soundtracks, but sound effects CD. And so we could make our outgoing message on our answering machine funnier. And we'd do it for like hours and just sit there and do that. And it was the funniest thing in the world. And the best part was when someone else in the house would get a phone call, and it would be this like construction zone area or the deck of a fighter plane and just all this nonsense. And that was where the joke came in. It was entertaining making them, but then the joke would be when someone would get a message on the answer machine, it'd be some professional thing of some poor guy's completely confused looking for, I need to talk to Mark Elliott if he's available. and then Elliott would get pissed at us for doing, why do you guys always got to do that stupid shit? And I'm like, because why not?
Why wouldn't you? Dan Reardon's chiming in. You got some laugh emojis and Ed.
Yeah, Dan Reardon, the slow talker himself.
That's right. The Silver Fox.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that, though.
There's nothing wrong with that. You see the Racing Stripes?
Hey, Mine waited till I was 50.
He got there first.
Dan was early in.
Got there first, got there best. Did you always know you wanted to coach or teach?
I think in retrospect, yes.
Yeah.
I think in retrospect, yes. And I think I fought it for a long time because I didn't want to. I didn't want to be that because I was like, I want to do something else. I want to do something else.
What was it, something else?
Policing, which I did for a while, but I just really found that, I don't know. I go back to like when I worked for Jim Casey back at the day in the pool area. Ed, can you take the class for me? And I was a junior in high school, and I was a gym aide because that's another thing.
What was he doing while you took the class for him?
Taking phone calls. I got to take this call. Ed, will you take the class? So there I am teaching freshman swimming. And it was, once he did it once and figured out I could do it, he would do it all the time. Ed, this coffee could really use some Kahlua or vodka in it. I didn't know what to do with that stuff. And I was a junior. I was like, oh, is that funny? That's funny. It is funny, but I don't know if Mr. Casey should be saying that to me, but it's funny. And so all of a sudden it's like, I go from handing out towels and stuff like that to, hey,
You're in charge.
You're in charge. And just like not being nervous about it. Just like, okay, this is what we got to do. And so I think that was the other thing too, is, I ran with Mike Hanneberg also. I ran with Mike a lot. And he always wanted to be there. That's the only thing he ever wanted to do. And so I think when I got back and, with my parents, my dad opening the business, and it was like, okay, well, if he's going to take a chance, my career's just starting. I haven't really started anything.
Right.
Seasonal work for U.S. Customs isn't really career-based. And so I'm like, okay, which there's some stories about that I could tell too, which was funny because so I said, well, I'll take that. And I just happened to be taking a football coaching class because just one of those classes that you take in your last semester, you're like, it's fun. Let's see what happens. And lo and behold, I'm 3 PBRs deep at the old Sting, drinking 22s. And somebody says, hey, the Holy Spirit needs a football coach. And I had just enough in me to be like, hell yeah, I'll do it. And getting up the next day thinking, nah. And then they called me and like, hey, you're in. You need to come fill this out. And that's what got me started. And I'm like, well, now what the hell are you gonna do? Well, first person I went and saw was Coach Poley, and walked in there, and I was nervous. I was like, "Hey, Coach," because it's still Coach Poley,
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
he goes, "What the hell are you doing?" And I'm like, "I don't know." Instantly, I'm 17 again. And
Just tell me what to do.
I'm so sorry.
Show me where the dirt is so I can rub something on it.
But he just goes, he's like, yeah, this is what you're doing, whatever you want to do. Come hang out with us, come watch 2-a-days and stuff. And this is our offense, this is what we're doing. And he's like, I'd really like to see those guys do this. What the hell? I did it. And then I called Jack and went over to CMR to visit with him because we have history, and I knew him and I knew his daughter, Kel.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, if we're going to run Great Falls High offense, we'll run CMR defense. Little did I know, we're 7th and 8th graders, but by golly, we're going to run a version of both of those. Well, I figured out how to do it. That was the thing, that was the second step of like, okay, you took this complex thing and made it this. Because I was never very, I didn't know I was dyslexic till I was a junior in college. That's the other thing too, is you don't think you have to be so smart. And it was a struggle. Academics was a struggle. I was a 2.5, 2.7 student. And that's, and with the class that we had, oh my gosh, that was way down below.
Yeah.
There was 4.0s everywhere. But it wasn't, but
Killers.
again, though, you didn't feel second class, or you didn't feel like you had to overcome things or do things because everyone just.
Yeah. You were doing it to yourself. Nobody was doing it to you.
And it was like, the confidence that you don't have as a high school kid, but everyone else was just like, no one knew. I didn't know anybody else's grades. I didn't care because I was like, oh, those are my friends. Or, I go in to see Jim
Are
Turner.
they good people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I go in to see Jim Turner every day at 7th period after school, and I'm an Algebra 2 trig, and so if you subtract the 2, you got to do it on the other side of the equal sign. and all these math analysis kids are in there hanging out, and no one says anything, and that's the thing is I think we were so comfortable in our own skin that high school was, I would not want to go back ever again. No way. I think high school was, but I think that experience that we had of like being friendly to each other. And then the second year I was coaching Holy Spirit and working for my dad, Dale Poley just looked over. He turned around and he's the only way he can do it. And he sits at the end of his chair and he goes, Jesus Christ, McNamee, if you're going to do this for real, you got to go back to school and get your teaching degree. And I went, oh yeah. And he's like, no. And he tells Kyle Mihelish, call Western right now. He's like, I'm calling Northern. Like there's no options. I'm calling these guys to see if they'll take you. And so I came back and I'm like, well, coach, what do you think about me? Like, especially Northern with Walt Curry, if I walk on and play, Jesus, hell no. He's like, you don't need to play. You need to coach. And that was it. And got down to Western and I'll be darned, I interviewed and called my dad and said, you're not going to believe this shit. Here's what I said. I just got hired as a linebacker coach at Western. And he's like, no way. I said, I'm on my way home. And I'm like, I can't believe this is happening. Like, I mean, I really had it was that fast that all of a sudden it's like, I'm getting down there in January and this is what we're doing. And here we go. And from then on, it was like, the old adage of, teaching first, coaching second. I think everyone does that when they're young, though. They're just like, so, they want to be this. And eventually that kind of wore off to where it was like, I found as much enjoyment, if not more, teaching than other things. And then becoming the head swim coach, that was by default.
How did that happen?
DeGoyer yelled at me.
Oh.
honest to goodness, at the PE office at Great Falls High, there's a bunch of us standing in there, and it's like Pat Bolton, Jerry Olson, Dan Brady, Chris Naparella, a lot of these guys, And DeGoyer walks in and says, he didn't, no holds barred. He's like, hey, you're the head swim coach next year. And I said, he's like, are you ready? And I'm like, well, no. He said, doesn't matter. You're the head swim coach next year. I said, okay. He's like, you're damn right it's okay, because if you didn't take it, you weren't going to coach anything in this district again. And I went, all right, I'm in. And that was it. That was 100% how it happened, full truth. And I was like, oh, no. I had no idea, because, again, back then, I was a football coach.
Yeah.
I'm a football coach.
That's what I do now.
Yeah. And, and I'm like, okay. And then it was just like, did both of them, did all three for a while, baseball, football. But that was also economic, though, too, back then.
Yeah.
You know that.
We get paid so much.
Yes. We make so much money that
yes.
it wasn't really a choice then. It was financially necessary to do all that coaching.
Yeah.
But then after that, it was 2008. Yeah. It was President's Day weekend. And by then I had switched schools, and I was lucky. So I got to coach under Jack. I got to coach under Greg. And Dale. So I went over and I went in to talk to Coach Jay, and I said, hey, we got some good things coming up next year. I think it's time for me to do just swimming. And I was going to go to and I was starting graduate school too in the summer. So it was like one of those things, like I got to peel everything back and see what happens. And lo and behold, we got a whole bunch of talent in there that made me look really smart.
Before you get into that, you have 4 teams essentially.
Yeah.
Because you had both high schools.
Yep.
And you have men's and women's.
Right.
You've gathered your information, right? You've coached enough.
Yeah.
So like when you're able to make an intelligent decision about coaching.
Yeah.
I don't think you're thinking X's and O's anymore. I think you're thinking culture. Is that true, or am I?
Yeah, yes and no. I think it's like Bobby Bowden said, if you have 2 quarterbacks, it means you don't have one. I mean, if you have to talk about culture all the time, it means you don't have any.
Right.
So a lot of the stuff that we did just manifested itself. Like the 4 teams, 1 family came from the idea that my youngest daughter, Avery, was born at 2 a.m. and I was at practice at 8 a.m.
Yeah.
And it was like, and some of them were like pearl clutching, like, how could you do that? I'm like, she's asleep. Everyone is asleep.
Yeah. What am I going to do?
Stand there and stare at you?
Right.
Might as well go to practice. that you're spending so much time away from your family that it just happened organically. Like, this is where we are, is 4 teams.
It better
team.
mean something if I'm taking the time away from
from
them.
So this is your family, and understanding and just reflecting on them, like, hey, you guys understand how much better you are, and trying to just tell them that, like, hey, you're better than that, because you're not sleeping in over Christmas break. You're getting up out of bed at 8 o'clock. You're getting here. You're getting back here at 4 in the afternoon, and you're doing 2 days in the middle of December while your friends are sleeping in and going skiing and stuff. That's a huge sacrifice. And lo and behold, eventually, and that was the first year out, 2003, 2004. And all of a sudden it was just like, it just kept building and building to where it just kind of happened organically. I mean, it really did. And so being the head coach for both teams, both schools, is something that I was part of as a swimmer back in the day. So it wasn't like it was super out of the ordinary. But the ability to get them, and we had some bumps in the road, of course. You know, everyone remembers the last stuff, but it's like, hey, there were some people who wanted my head on a pike more than once. More than once, there were some people who either thought I was unfair or thought I was, you know, one side more than the other. And I'm like, I don't write the, you know, you remember Mike Town. Mike Town was an amazing, Scott Manch, amazing sports writers here.
Right.
But they had the story in their head before they came and talked to me. And so I can't steer things a certain way. And it's like,
right.
Well, what are you supposed to do when you have one team that's winning and the other team isn't? Well, of course they're going to talk about this. It's not me. And I could weave things in and stuff, but you know, and I get it. We're dealing with parents, and their number one, their best thing they have is the kid that they're sending to you. Yeah. And sometimes that's not very good. But
you and I take more parental abuse than most.
Yeah.
We're in, it's the field. How much has that changed since when you first started coaching?
I'm older than them now. So I have a lot more. I run into, actually, now with the baseball team and stuff, there's more than one that I coach their dad.
Yeah.
I coach their dad. So a lot of it is just like, I think what it is now is that parents want to see is accountability. I really do. I think that the idea that everyone's going to be treated not fairly, but they're going to be held accountable. If someone does something wrong, they should be held accountable, especially with kids. I think Dick Kloppo taught me that a long time ago too. It's like one of the things in high school that we forget, being on this side of the desk, is like, this is a time to screw up.
Yeah.
And you can rebound from it.
You know, I always say, what I'm really interested in is a new mistake, because you keep showing me the same.
Yeah. Oh no,
Let's stop that one. That one I'm done with.
Yeah.
Make a new one.
You're not inventing anything. But I think that's one of the things too, is like, if you have people that make mistakes, and we have, whether it's in class or other places, we've had to make mistakes. But I think that's part of the teaching too, that I think when people hear that, like, hey, you made a mistake. You don't have to yell. You don't have to yell. You can. But I think if you build trust with kids, if they trust you, you'd be, and a lot like you too, I think, is a lot of people are like, how do you get away? There's some fringe things that I'll say and do that other people can't. And I've asked people who I work for and stuff on the administrative side, like, why do you think that is? Why do you think I can say that? And no one, they're like, they trust you.
Yeah.
They trust you.
Well, they know you care.
Well, I think that's deeper than them liking you. I would
agreed.
say that, and I think that's more important, is they trust you.
Mr. Corder, can I go out in the hall? No. Why not? Because you ugly. We're used to you in here.
Yeah. Yeah. Can I use the bathroom? Well, can I go to the bathroom? Well, not in here. Or like when something bad happens too. Like, I mean, you've dealt with it too, and I think I've been fortunate where I haven't had the empty desk.
Yeah.
Things like that. You know, those things are so tough. But I have been in schools when that's happened. Mm. But the idea of, and I've said it, like, hey, this is what you're gonna get. I'm not buying you cookies. I'm not hugging you. But if you need somewhere to go to just like hang out, I'm your guy.
Yep.
I'm your guy.
If you need, before you make a mistake, you could make one stop.
Yeah.
And maybe get it off your chest.
Yeah.
Sure.
And if that's fine, and I'm just letting you know what you're gonna get. I'm not gonna suddenly change my personality and just do all this stuff. I'm like, this is what you're going to get.
Yeah.
And it's going to be, if you want things, they're going to be a little off color and perhaps rude or mean if you want it to be, but you can come in here and Mac, you can do that. Fine. That's great. But I think it's really interesting to see that in education, that you can still be yourself. I think that's why people get
I think you have to get to it. You know, I think there's an earning of that.
Yeah.
You have to figure out what that is.
Yeah.
And then, which is, I agree with you. I don't know that you can do it in your first 3 to 5 years.
I think I think you better you're going to have to know your content, you know, and that's one thing as a teacher. But the second thing is like, it really does take over. And it's like with coaching too, is you find yourself where you don't yell as much because you're so confident in what you're doing. You're just like, no, this is the way it works. And I think with parents and with students and athletes, I think I've changed too.
Mm.
I think I've changed too in terms of you're more of a sounding board. I think there's always going to be people and kids that you're closer to than others.
Yep.
And I think that's probably one of the hardest things when you're a parent of students is there are some times where you get along with your students better than your children. That is, it's been a minute since I've been inside Catholic Church, but you still have that idea of like, am I doing all of this wrong?
Yep.
Because
why am I able to connect with 30 kids at a time?
Yep. But
you won't hear the one thing I'm really trying to tell you right now.
Right. And that is, but I've also seen it happen with my kids to where they have something, whether it was Chrissy Barrick, Rosted, our teacher Rosted, you know, other Brian Sullivan, you know, where all of a sudden they have a connection with them that they don't have with me.
Yes.
And so it's like one of those things, and it happens to be with Sullivan that his son Liam, who's playing baseball at Miles City Community College, will call me and talk to me about stuff that he won't. And it's the vice versa, you know, where Cameron's in the STEM fields and stuff.
Right.
And he'll talk to Brian. Weird. I think that's also that really, it takes a village. It does. And it's okay.
It absolutely takes a village, and it absolutely takes you to be able to go, I have to let this be what it's going to be.
It took me a while.
Yep.
It really took me a while to get that, because what you said, that got said in many of arguments. Of how can I get all of these people to do, but yet I said, what the hell?
Just need you to get the 1 point.
Just one. Just
echo it back to me. Even if it didn't go in, just repeat the phrase.
I know.
Perhaps.
But then they grow up and they turn out to be pretty damn good.
They are pretty good. I think too that they know that they can, the fact that you're willing to let somebody else take their helm.
Yes.
You know,
I think that's important. But
I don't need to be the smartest guy in the room.
But I think the other thing too is, like you said at the beginning, like when you get home from doing all that stuff, there's another side of you where you just you're quiet and stuff. So it's almost like I have some empathy for them as I've gotten older. Like they almost kind of see two things of like, wait a second, there's this public persona that's bigger than life and it fills up a room and does this stuff. But the person that walks through the door at home is not that person. And again, like, it's weird though, because I don't feel as old as we are. I said we.
Right.
Because I'm still learning stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one of the things I learned is like with swim practice is it's very loud. I would be loud. And I would watch the JV practice and do stuff just to get some paperwork or whatever else done. But more importantly, to get back down. Because I was, and it took some people to talk to about like when I come through the door with that energy and everybody else is down, and it could be coming in at 6 o'clock, 6:30 with
hot.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you're coming in, and it's not, you're not being mean or anything.
No.
But your voice level's up. You're used to talking loud.
You've heard loud all day.
And so now you're like super aggressive and assertive, and it's like you're walking into people who are like winding down.
Yes.
And you're coming hard charging, and I'm like, people are like, well, why do you stay there so long? And I'm like, well, there's always something to do. It's true. But the other thing is I'm kind of protecting the people at home. So I have
Yeah.
some time to
Chill
come
out.
down. Yeah.
I have to. So I get done at 10.
Yeah.
And I've been filling the room and I've been doing what I love. I'm playing music and I am.
Yep.
For a long time, I would just come home and nobody's awake. I'd just be sitting in the basement.
Oh.
Not a great transition.
No.
So now it's like I go find a place to sit and be quiet.
Yeah.
Which is tricky at 10.
Yeah, it is.
And also, I don't need it to be a sketchy thing.
Right.
So I try to find these like quieter places, quieter bars, perhaps. That's not the SIP. Because if I stay at the SIP, I'm going to get talked to, or I'm going to get. Again, none of these things are bad. People liking me is not a bad thing.
No,
People
I
wanting
get
to.
you.
But it's like Santa Claus at the North Pole. Elves are going to talk to you.
Right.
You got to go somewhere else, and people might recognize me or want to talk to me, but it's a different thing. It's at least like a halfway.
Yeah. No, and you mentioned you go back to where Nadine and Erica have in common. Nadine's not down there every show. No. But that's the thing is like she's also there to tell you like you need to help you with that transition and stuff because it's the same thing. And oh my gosh, it is hard. And as I've gotten older though, it's like it just take more energy and and that's why I got out when I did this year is because I didn't want to not do it right at all. I wanted to like no wavering, no nothing, like
right.
Be present.
When did you know you wanted to transition to a different sport?
I think it was January was tough this year, just because there were some days where I'd go to practice in the morning for swimming, get back to that was 6 to 7, back to the pool about 2:45, and then there till 8, and then go over to the indoor facility from like 8:30 to 10. And it was like, and it was weird because it's not like it's not like I'm going to bed at 9 o'clock. No. But the idea is like, I think that was kind of the chink in it, but it was more so that I don't want this it wasn't baseball. It wasn't because people have asked me like, was it because of the baseball? I said, no, I've been coaching baseball and swimming since 2010 together. I said, that's not the point. I said, I can balance those. I wouldn't have taken the job if I couldn't balance those. That was the contingency was like, if you're going to name me the head baseball coach, then this isn't leaving. That was the thing. And so, but it just got to where it was just the right time. I think that was a lot of things. Just the right time that there's still enough there where the teams can be competitive. We have a great coaching staff, all the way down to the managers that are really, really good. They're all coming back. So the transition for whoever takes it, and that was another thing too. Hopefully they take it from internal. But the assistant coaches that put in, I said, I'm not writing you a letter of recommendation. I said, because I can't. I said, I'm not going to pick one of you over the other. I said, but I'll be kind of a shadow governor type thing. I said, but I'm not going to come out on deck. I'm not going to be at swim meets. I'm not going to do that. I said, it's not fair to you. Because as soon as I walk out there, all the heads are going to whip around. And I didn't want the message to be hollow. I didn't want to be there for the money. I think that's the other thing too is I don't think I've ever done anything for money. Except for the military. I prostituted my body for 23 years.
I've done a lot of weddings and funerals. Done a lot of weddings
no,
and
no,
funerals.
I'm full-fledged. I sold my body to Uncle Sam. He just set the money on the dresser as he walked out. Just a little whore.
Dan Reardon says, amen. Still feel 30-something.
Yeah. But I think that's. But Dan's another one of those cats, too, that you could talk to. And he'd be like right back to square one, and that's just it. It's like you just and I think there's a whole bunch of people that we grew up with that you would have at least some kind of connection with.
Even just being part of the class of 92.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think that was, serendipitous, whatever you want to call it. But I also think too, this is the other thing too, and we've been doing this a lot. I said, I think it was just the climate in general. I think you had a whole bunch of teachers that were right in their wheelhouse.
Yep.
They were in that 10 to 15 years where they were super confident on what they were doing. So they came with not an agenda, but they were like, hey, this is, they were a little bit freer to do stuff. They weren't really, I don't remember even having a first year teacher at all, but they were like, just like, and so when you start getting that stuff there, love Paul Ritter.
Susan Barlow just give you a thumbs up. Another class of 92.
Susan Bartow?
Yeah, I said Barlow. Yeah, Bartow.
Oh my gosh. I used to talk to her on the phone in 8th grade all the time.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Hey, girl.
No, I think that was I think it was one-sided.
Hey, girl.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, wait. Hold
Hey,
on.
what's
Let me find it right.
I think that was.
I was in band class today.
Yeah. Oh, man. Sue Bartow is probably one of the nicest people. She was great.
If we went down the list, there's not many. We're not going to name
Well, I
them.
saw Lainey Warnicki last week, too.
Nice. I saw her at the
teacher thing.
Yeah.
Whatever that is. Yeah, that thing.
The educators.
Educators. Excellence in education.
Yeah.
Okay. It's kind of like when you saw like being in the Hall of Fame. It's like, that's imposter syndrome for me. There's a lot of big names there.
I think it's for everyone. No, it wasn't, she says.
Wasn't what?
I don't know.
Oh, I know.
And we went too fast.
I don't know. But yeah.
I
used to get really nervous if her sister would answer. Remember her sister was older than us.
So I used to
attractive.
impersonate my brother when girls would call for him.
Oh, you're a dick.
It was a real dick move, but it was
good.
It's kind of great. Actually, it started pretty pure because he's like, I don't want to talk to these girls anymore.
See, I never had that wrong.
I'm like, well, let me just take up the slack for you then.
But that
if that's the case. No, it's not bad. Yes, we did. No, it wasn't. I don't know what we're talking about, but that's okay.
I don't know.
Susan will let us know. You've answered all the questions without even being asked the questions, which is great because we've talked. Yeah, because the show's called Making Meaning.
Oh,
we're talking about making meaning. So moving forward, it's going to be baseball. It's going to be teaching. How much longer do you see yourself teaching?
Well, one of the things is we were we adopted our niece and nephew because of circumstances, and they are Charlie will be a freshman next year. The only down part of that is she likes track. I hate track
and field.
So boring. And I'm saying that as a baseball guy. Like, track is insanely boring. But she loves it. So she's there. And then Jack, he's just awesome. He's a 5th grader. And he's a throwback. It's actually pretty cool to watch. There was a couple weeks ago, and it was really nice out. There were 10 bikes in our driveway.
10?
10 bikes. So they counted them because I yelled at them.
Get these
goddamn bikes out of the driveway.
Youths.
Yes.
Get
what the hell are you doing? Get these out of there. Because our house has the snack drawer. And I guess, and I'm like, yeah. And I mean, there are children that walk into my house, and I'm like, who are you? What are you doing?
And they don't even think you're mean. That's the best part.
And it's just
you're funny.
They're just Jack's buddies.
Yeah.
And it's like, they all dress the same. They all look I don't know what they have in their backpacks, but they all have their backpacks and their bikes. And it's just so refreshing to see, like, they just hang out.
Yeah. Yeah.
They play video games and stuff, but most of the time they're just hanging out.
We played the video games too.
We did. And it was like, it was great. It was fun.
Good.
But that was, so those guys, I don't know. But the thing is like, what do we want to retire to? That's the question.
I don't see retiring.
Right.
I do see not teaching.
And then to what though?
Music. Hopefully.
I guess I'm still waiting to figure out what I want to be when I grow up.
Yeah, there's some of that.
I think that
you could write the coaching manual though.
Oh God, no. There's so many smarter people than me out there.
That's why it'd be more fun.
I think that it would be I don't. I see. That's just it. I think coaching in some way. You know, I think there'd be a time where I would maybe take the next step or go to find a small junior college or something like that to coach at.
Yeah.
You know, do that, be a little adjunct work and stuff. You know, I think that would be kind of a fun thing to do. I did just something like that.
Yeah.
Just kind of like, you know, because you get to, you know, just like you with music, is you want to start working. The more people you work with that are really, really experts at it, pushes you to get better, and you get to see like that fine tuning and stuff, you know. And you go back to, and that's why my heart goes out to people who are music teachers. Oh, you guys are the. Oh, I'm not really sure. If you're gluttons for punishment, you did something really bad in a past life.
All true. Keep going.
It's got to be something, because I'm just like, because I mean, I stood next to you in Delphian, and kids will ask me like, "You were in Delphian?" I'm like, "Yeah." "You can't read music?" I'm like, "Nope, not at all." "Well, how did you get in Delphian?" Joel Corda. I said, "Do you know Mr. Corda?" And they're like, "Yeah." I said, "I stood next to him. I figured out that if the dot was on the bottom, sing low, and everything else, I said, they're like, "So you sight read?" I'm like, "Sure, whatever that means." The dot was on the bottom, it was low.
Go low.
I said, and anything Paul Ritter would ask me to do, I would have done.
Yes.
Hands down.
Yep.
If Paul Ritter would have said, the idea of taking choir and turning it into a sport mentality with a coach, it was just like whatever. That was why I got into Delphian and stuff. It wasn't certainly because I was musically inclined or anything like that. I didn't want to take Spanish again because I hated that. I wasn't good at it. But Paul Ritter was, and I was a sweat hog. You know, those who don't know, there's varsity men's choir.
I was in there with you.
And I mean, we would spend Mondays talking about sports. There was a lot of times we didn't even sing. I think Paul, because he didn't want to. Now that I know,
I think he knew the capacity he was dealing with.
Yeah. And he was like, "Okay, we're going to talk about this stuff."
Yeah.
And he'd be like, "Oh, what did you see this game?" And all of a sudden we'd just be talking. It'd be like, it was the greatest experience ever. And then it was like, after that, it was like, whatever this guy wants me to do, I'm going to do.
Yep. Yeah. No, I agree.
And
it was Poley, it was
Paul,
Ritter,
yeah,
and a lot of our teachers.
Yeah, but I think those two were really impactful in my development, because they had you doing things that you didn't think you could, you know, and then at the same time, you never heard them take credit for anything.
Right.
They never took credit for anything. That it was always us. I mean, they're just great role models.
It's a lot of talent. The kids really pulled together. You know, even with the losses, they took credit for.
Yeah.
I mean, that's good coaching. It's my fault. Didn't coach them enough.
Yep.
But
we got to get right.
Got to do the right.
Yeah. Though that was.
Yep.
And I think when you talk about that, I think that's the thing too. Is like I was at the gas station the other day, and I had Great Falls High stuff on, and some guy asked me, he's like, "Well, do you go to school there?" And I'm like, "Well, I know I work there." And I'm like, "I'm the head baseball coach." And he goes, "Oh," and he's like, "God, remember Coach Paul?" He's like, "Yeah, we graduated from there in '84."
Oh wow!
And he's like, and he's telling me, and I left there like, that is the ticket right there.
Yep.
That's the ticket right there.
Yep.
If something in 2053 of some dude's like, I remember that guy.
Yeah.
He was awesome.
Yeah.
That, and the thing is, you never see it, never hear it. But I think that's the ticket where you're like,
you do get a little.
But it's just like, that's when you know you've made it.
I get those guys coming to the SIP. Some of my old stagecraft kids now.
Oh, yeah.
And they'll, you know, and just like some of my sweat hogs.
Yeah.
When I was doing that. And it's wild. Because we're not talking about the best students.
No.
We're not talking about but we're talking about kids that you helped give them a reason to want to hang out.
Oh. And that's the thing I'm going to miss the most about coaching swimming is the accolades and stuff, you know, that comes. And we talked about winning when we had to, but it certainly wasn't a focus. But we had the ability, because it's a no-cut sport, that we had so many kids that found a niche to belong to something in a way that I think hopefully the way that like Dale and Paul made us feel is that you can be your best self. It's not, you may not be the best person out there, but your best self is good enough, and you keep improving and doing
You
that
doing
stuff.
your best is welcome.
Yes.
And needed.
And valued.
Yes.
And valued. And I think that's the thing in today's world I think with parents and kids is they just want their kid to feel valued.
Yeah.
And kids don't need validation. They don't need to be scratched all the time. They just want to know that they're valued. And that's it. I mean, that full stop. I mean, that's really, if there's the one answer for what makes an effective coach or teacher, you have the ability to make other people feel valued.
I agree.
That's important.
That's a great place to end, buddy.
All right.
I know we could do it longer, but
yeah,
you'll just have to come
Joe
back.
Rogan-esque.
Yeah, we're not doing no Rogan around here.
Oh, I could talk about the flat Earth. I could do a whole bunch
Hey,
of stuff.
That's a different show, and we'll have you back.
No, I would come back as anytime, and that's pretty cool to see this class of '92 stuff and things like that. Yeah, I would. I love those guys. I really do. I think it was really special.
Maybe we'll have a reunion on the show.
Oh my
Anytime
gosh, we're getting up there too.
I don't even want to talk about it, but you're not wrong. Loved this. My mom said, "Great show, guys," from Susan. Thanks for watching, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Ed, thanks.
Yes.
It's good to see you, buddy.
Always. Thank you for having me.